Okay. Quiet on set, please.
Shut the fuck up.
Welcome to the Buzzbait Podcast, your way of something new each week. I'm your host, Lara. With me today is my co-host, Megan, and not Colin. Fuck that dude. But we have our guest.
Hi. I'm not Colin.
Not Colin. Our guest, not Colin.
Not Colin.
Hi, not
That's
Colin.
me.
How are you today?
Colin too.
I'm not sick. That's pretty great.
Hey,
Hell
that
yeah,
is
dude.
pretty great. No, Tori. Hello, thank you for joining us, and especially joining us when I messaged you about an hour before this actual thing and said, "Hey, do you want to be on an episode of a podcast?"
It was perfect timing.
Sick. It worked out really well for me because you were the first person that I started messaging, and then before I could even like send out the mass messages to other chats, you were like, "Yeah, I could be down," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this worked. This worked out really well." I was literally just gonna message everybody and be like, "Hey, anybody got like an hour today?"
Literally anybody.
I was so afraid you were going to say PM, and I was like, no, I'm asleep. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because I said 10:30 to 11 because despite, again, the fact that Tori is 22 years old, bedtime is 9:30. We've got...
It is factual.
We've got an old lady on our hands.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't figure out how to get in here in the beginning, other than downloading it.
Honestly, technology's a bitch, though, so...
Also didn't know what... never heard of cranking 80s or 90s, so...
Yeah, but
Old
also...
lady, grandma
It
in the
sounds
chat.
like you're playing music from the 80s or 90s when you say it like that,
Yeah,
though.
cranking 80s. We're cranking the 80s today.
It's like you're turning up the stereo.
Welcome to Buzzbait Radio. Hey, we're cranking the 80s.
Were any of us alive at the time? No.
Nope.
Not
No.
even close. I was
Thank
more
God.
than a decade and a half.
I wasn't even alive in the 90s, bro.
Oh.
I need you to just never say that again.
Lara,
I was right on the cusp.
Exactly.
I was right on the
I was
cusp,
gonna say, who are you
but-
to talk, really?
But when I hear that someone's born after, like, 2001, I'm like, you're not real.
Oh, I'm not real. Let's go.
Ridiculous.
A figment of my imagination.
I really am.
You know what's so
AI
crazy,
today.
though?
It's all right.
The amount of 22-year-olds that I've met that are kind of like that, like older mindset, though, because like Lena, I would think is like 2001 also, and also has like a very like, I'm just a chill person who doesn't do that whole new kid thing. And I don't know, there's like you get a lot of those, a surprising amount of those that are like, I don't know what the kids are talking about these days, and it's like, you're the kids these days. What are you talking about?
Don't got that skibbity riz.
That's alpha. I don't know what that is.
That's not quite that.
And
young.
I didn't eat Tide Pods, so I got that going for me.
Fantastic. All right, so now that we've got all that established, Lara, what are we talking about today?
So this episode's coming out probably in like early December-ish. But it's mid-November, and we are in the throes of cuffing season as it has finally started to get cold here. And I came across these articles. As I explained to you guys, I'm the only Bing user in the world. So when I opened up Microsoft Edge, because I'm an edger, I came across two articles right next to each other, and it was 7 signs that it's healthy to be friends with your ex from Healthline, and from Forbes, it's when exes can and can't be friends according to a psychologist. And I thought it'd be interesting to just go through the reasons and then see if we agree, disagree, have any stories related to these reasons, or, things like that.
All right, yeah.
Sounds fun.
Fun.
Okay,
Let's
we'll
talk
just
about exes.
Let's dive into that trauma. Let's go.
This is basically my second therapy, this week. So like it'll be great.
It sounds like it's going to be good for you, Meg, to get some stuff off your chest here.
I don't
I
know.
don't
My
know about
therapist
that.
has canceled on me twice in the last 2 weeks, so I have a lot built up.
All right,
Excellent. This is
let's. This
perfect.
is. Oh yeah, vent to a practical stranger, a buddy, and the entirety of the internet, all 36 of our followers. So,
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
all right.
Um so I guess we'll start with the 7 signs that it's healthy to be friends with your ex. I feel like, starting off on a higher note, and then we'll bring it down. So, the first thing that Healthline says is that if you're still reminiscing on steamy times you shared together, it's probably not a good time to start a friendship with that person. So it's when you miss the friendship, but not like
The
the
physical.
intimacy. Yeah,
That makes sense.
which I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
pretty
that definitely
straightforward.
tracks.
Their second reason is when you no longer think of them romantically, which I think ties into that you're not missing the intimacy of that relationship.
Can I interject something really, really quick? I'm
Yeah, what's up?
curious, like, what you guys define like romantically, like that intention. Like, what is that for you guys? Because I think it's very different for me personally. I think that we've talked about it before, Laura. I don't think I've ever mentioned
uh,
to Victoria.
we kind of did. Victoria, would you like to go first?
No.
Okay, I'll start. Um,
No,
Just
I'm
being
good. Thanks.
honest.
Yeah, no, keep being honest.
I so like I said in a conversation before when we had a similar conversation like this. Um, I think like the line is intention, where it's like, for example, Meg, like you and I have gone out to the bar together, we've gone and gotten food together, but there was really no intention behind it, and we both were mutually like, this is just a friend thing. Meanwhile,
Mhm.
if I were to go do those same things with someone else with the intention of, hey, is this a date, hey, like, can I hold your hand, can I do this, can I do that, like, to me that's where the romanticism starts, is that it's the intention behind whatever it is you're doing. I could go and I've done a billion quote unquote romantic things with friends just because I want someone to do or like share that thing with, you know?
Mhm.
But there was no intention behind it other than, oh, we're just a couple of silly guys having fun. And then, it's just we walk away from it going like, okay, I had a fun time with my friend. We're not walking away from it going, I can't wait to have a second date with this person or something.
Yeah, and I guess like that's the thing is like so it is so but what I guess what I'm asking is like what creates like what is that feeling of intention? So obviously like you feel like, oh yes, this is romantic, or yes, this is not, or like no, this is not romantic. But what is that romantic thing? Is it just like you want to spend more time with them? Is it just like there's a physical attraction as well? Is it like a uh the combination of like a mental, I want to spend much more time with this person plus a physical attraction? Like what, because like you can be physically attracted to someone that you're also like, I don't need to have a conversation with you. Some people I guess can. I can't imagine that. But I guess that's a thing where you can be like, I'm just physically attracted to you, which obviously that doesn't necessarily mean a romantic attraction. I think that, to me, I guess romantic is like desire to be with that person in a relationship at a different level than just physical or just friends, right?
Right. Yeah, I think if
So
it's
that
just
like a
physical, that's definitely not romantic. If you're just attracted to someone for their looks and body or whatever it is, like, I don't know, that's not romantic, I guess, to
no,
me. I don't find that
that's just
romantic.
a like it's not like a so
But
Victoria,
I,
you want to weigh in really quick on
oh, yeah.
what your
Sorry, my
mindset?
audio was cutting out there for a minute. So I guess the intention is like a big thing, but I guess for me, if I don't see it going anywhere romantically, I can pretty much separate myself from that kind of mindset. And as long as I know they're also not looking at me in a romantic context, then we can do whatever because I know ultimately I'm not going to let it go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so as long as there's a boundary there or conversation doesn't seem to be egging them on in some way, then we're down to do whatever. And I do a lot of like group things if that's the case where I'm not sure their intention,
Mm.
just so I can still do like have friends and go do things that could be considered a date if there weren't like four other people here. So now you know it's not, you know?
Gotcha, gotcha. And that's
If
like
there's four
if
other
you're
people, that could
unaware.
be a quadruple date, right? No,
Mm.
triple,
Wait. Wait.
triple date.
You can
I
We
get
can
got
do
there in
mad,
the
math.
end.
I'm
Layla.
so smart, bro.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to do that, I don't. So for me, it's pretty much a cutoff.
Can't even imagine. Oh yeah,
I
three
don't like
separate
people enough for that.
rom- three separate
I don't
couples
even
going out and
know
doing
that
something
many
seems like a
people.
lot of.
Like,
I None of my friends have had lasting relationships long enough for us all to be in relationships at the same time for that to even be possible.
that too.
But okay, so like romantic relationship, because like when I think of a romantic relationship, I think that it has to be a mix of a physical attraction but a mental attraction where it's like, oh, I want to be closer to this person than I am with any of my other friends. Have like a
Yeah.
continued lasting long thing. This is someone that I just want to keep getting to know on a deeper level than my normal friends. And that's how I think of like romantic, and that's how I kind of like distinguish what that is.
Yeah, I agree. I guess going back to like my intention thing, like I'm shallow. If I'm not physically attracted to you, there's gonna be no fucking intention behind anything. Um, but it's also like what Victoria said. Like if I don't see myself with that person, then it's like I can easily distinguish a line of
You know,
like
you say that's
friendship and romanticism.
shallow, but it's like,
No, I said I'm
well,
shallow.
that's what I'm saying. But that you're saying that that's like a shallow thing. But I think that that's pretty normal. And I think that there are different like levels of attraction. You could be like, oh, this person's cute, and you could see it going into a relationship. And then there's people that you're like, holy shit, that person's super hot, and I could see it going into a relationship. So like, there's different levels of like attractiveness. I think, and especially like when you don't know the person very well initially. But like, I don't know. I mean, if you're like, I have to be immediately like, this person is super hot before I even talk to them. I just turned my mic off. Sorry. You can see in the
Too
camera that
excited.
It happens when you talk with your hands
it is,
and your
it
mic's
is,
right here.
it is, it is. But anyways, um, so I think that there's like different levels of like like attractiveness, and so like if you were like, unless they're like a 10 out of 10, I'm not even gonna bother talking to them. Then I'd be like, well, first of all, your expectations are crazy, and second of all, yeah, that might be kind of shallow. But I think that if you're willing to have like, if you have like a range, I mean, because I think physical attractiveness is like physical attraction to a person is very important in like a relationship. I mean, it's a part of it. It's like an aspect of it that's kind of required if that's the kind of relationship that you're trying to have. So I don't know if that's shallow. I think that's kind of normal. You have to be attracted to somebody to want to have a romantic relationship that involves physicality.
Here's my partner. They're ugly as fuck.
Yeah, I can't
That'd be a
imagine.
Story of my
wild
life.
sentence.
Ooh,
I can
flame
tell
them
if you didn't have your
exes.
camera on.
uh,
Sorry, my bad.
Oh my gosh. I thought that you were
um,
saying story of my life, like you were saying that all of your exes are ugly, right?
Yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what I said. I said
That's
what
what
I
I
said.
that's yeah, that's what I was
damn,
thinking
I
of.
thought she was saying it because she meant she was the ugly partner, and I was like, whew, the
Oh no.
self-esteem in this chat.
Self-esteem
Oh
in
no,
this
I
chat.
definitely was the hotter partner. It's okay.
Good for
Fucking, that's
you.
what's up.
I mean,
They
not good
feel
for
like they
you.
can pull
Dating
now. It's
down.
okay.
They feel like they can pull now. Wow, that's wow, throwing heat out here. All right, sorry. We can get back onto to your list, Laura. I just wanted to like get clarification as to like what we were like ascribing to a romantic interest. I think that all of us kind of agree that physicality is a part of it because some people are able
Yeah.
to detach like a romantic attraction from physicality.
Healthline says that their next um, sign when it's okay to be friendly with your ex is the relationship ended on safe and not overly chaotic terms.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't had a relationship that didn't end on a chaotic term. I'm
I was
gonna be
gonna
so
say, like,
honest.
are people out there just like ending on not chaos? Because that's wild to me. That's a wild idea.
I did have
I
one.
mean, there
You
was
can go,
like,
Victoria.
I've had one that wasn't terrible. No one cried.
Hey,
It was basically, we knew it wasn't going anywhere. But I also still don't talk to them. Maybe I am the problem though, because I don't talk to any of my exes. I'm not friendly with any of them.
well,
Well,
there's a whole rest of the list. There could be other things that play
but that's
into it.
also why I brought up the topic, because I thought it was interesting that there are these articles that are like, oh, you can be friendly with your ex, when a lot of people aren't, or find it to be like a red flag if you are.
Yeah, people are like, it's like if you're dating someone and they're like, yeah, I'm really good friends with my ex, and it's like, what? What do you mean
Yeah.
you're friends with your ex?
I guess it also depends on
Um,
how long they dated too.
Yeah, how long they dated, the
yeah,
context of it. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
that if I was like, yeah, no, I'm friends with my ex, and it was a dude, I don't think anybody that I was in a relationship with would be like, that's a problem, because they'd be like, okay, I get it. That was early days, huh? That was
I
before you
understand.
figured stuff out. You know what I mean? So, so I guess it
um,
depends on the context and that kind of stuff.
this I get to tell the story that I was like, I didn't tell you, Megan. This
Okay.
this this perfectly gatewayed right into it. So I did have a relationship, and on a not the worst that's happened to me experience, but that's also because I was the asshole.
Mm.
Um, and I still feel bad about it because I was like, ugh, I should have said that way nicer, and I didn't because I'm just a bitch. And they they did cry, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Can I reword this? And they were like, no, and then just shut the door in my face. And I was like,
Probably understandable.
no. Yeah, I was like, I get it. I would be doing the same thing. And
Yeah.
then
Mm.
I was we lived together at the time, and I was sleeping at my parents' house, and they knew where I lived. I think they needed something, and so I texted them. I was like, "Hey, I'll leave it here. Like, I'm at my parents' house. Just come swing by, pick it up, leave." And I woke up to them standing at the end of the bed, watching me as I was sleeping.
I don't like that.
And for further context, a little TMI, I like to sleep naked.
Mm.
So they're standing at the end of the bed, and I'm like exposed.
That's really
That's
uncomfortable.
so creepy. That's so
That's
creepy.
super
It was,
uncomfortable.
I nearly shit my non existing pants, bro.
My
Oh my
Like,
god.
I almost shit the sheets, bro. It was,
You almost
Oh
shit the
man.
sheets.
yes. Oh my god. And then
Oh,
I
I would
was
have
like,
screamed bloody murder.
well, I was holding the blanket up, and I was like, what do you want? I thought I locked all the doors. I didn't think they would get in.
Why
Fuck
did they
you.
want to get in?
Why did they want to get in? Because they wanted to
Like what?
talk to me.
That was the reason for the
Mm
looming?
hmm. Mm hmm. They wanted to talk to me. That's not the fucking. You thought. Here's the thing. You thought that was the last time? It wasn't. I also thought that was the last time, but it wasn't.
You need
So
better locks.
I actually. This one's totally on me. I took that person back too. We started dating again. Um, and then we broke up, and I was like, if you want to pick something up from the apartment, like the door's unlocked, because again, this was when I worked at overnights. So I was working overnights, and they were working like some day job. So the schedules just didn't work. And I was like, if you want something from the apartment, like I'll just leave the door open. It's sitting here. Grab it, lock the door on your way out, right? I worked overnights. I still do this, but I like to sleep with the pillow over my head, like on top of my head, right? Um, and I woke up to them lifting the pillow up, looking at me.
And you shit the sheets again.
And I shit the sheets again. 2 for 2.
Holy shit. That's weird though, fam. They gotta know that's weird. But this is the same partner that you had though that was like, I'm intentionally doing things to upset you.
Yes.
Now you were like, I was an asshole. I was the bad. Like, oh man, I was shitty for this. And then I'm like, wait a minute. This is the same one that literally to your face told you I'm doing things intentionally to upset you, just to see how you will
And I took
respond
them
to your
back.
upset.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, it is crazy, but it's not the craziest.
It's not the craziest.
It's not the craziest. The craziest thing is that you took them back after they stared at you at the foot of your bed. That's crazier. I feel like that's a weird.
2 for 2 though. That's wild.
Anyways,
You guys got any stories like that? Anything similar?
I would love to match energy, but no.
not
Awesome.
not a creep standing at the foot of my bed. I got stories about
No.
taking people back I shouldn't. That's a whole other thing. No, we could talk about that further on. Do you have
I've
any
only
more?
Love
taken
that for
one
me.
person back,
Yeah.
and it was like the first month of us together.
Mm,
After that, I'm gone.
once it's over, it be over.
I burn bridges, you know.
Once.
I normally do. I'm not sure why I didn't with this one. But, clearly it didn't work.
I saw a comment like on a video the other day, and they're like, "I burn bridges to light up my way," and I was like, "Oh, I love that."
I burn bridges to light up my way. Also, Victoria, I don't know if you noticed what I named Lara. Did you see the title I gave her?
No, it just says Lara.
Oh no!
Thank God. Yes.
Why?
I put a little subtitle below it that says sheet shitter.
So I can't be pussy magnet, but I can be sheet shitter. That's cool.
Well, you've
Priorities.
you've talked to Victoria for the last 23 minutes now, so no,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
from a previous,
shitting yourself did come up within the first 20 minutes.
because it's Lara, because Lara's on this episode. It's funny because I'm pretty sure shitting yourself didn't come up at all in the episode where I was hosting and there were 2 guests and Lara and Colin weren't there. Nobody talked about shitting themselves. Not a single one.
I love pooping my pants. So the next
What a soundbite.
health line. Their next reason was you've forgiven each other for anything that was hurtful.
Fuck no.
Absolutely not. I still talk about it because I think it's funny.
Everything?
I just said forgiving each other for anything
that was hurtful.
That was hurtful. And then
no, I'm taking that with me.
It was like, have you mutually forgiven each other for the times that shit hit the fan? If not, you're opening up Pandora's box. Forgiveness takes time. Even the most well-intentioned and emotionally intelligent people are capable of hurting others. We're all human after all.
And that is okay, but like sometimes the things that person is doing to hurt you are not things that you want to forgive and become friends with that person for. So yeah. I think that it's all about context, because I do think that like sometimes people say things that they don't mean, or stuff happens, stuff blows up, shit hits the sheets. you gotta forgive and forget and move on from stuff. But at the same time, some things it's like, no, I don't need this person in my life anymore. Like, this is a person who, yes, I had cared about. Things happen though, and I don't need this person as a friend in my life, because I don't need to like forgive and move on. Like, you can let something go in the way that like you no longer let it negatively impact your life, but like that doesn't also mean that you need to like forgive in the sense of like we can be friends again. It's like, no, I don't need to associate with you. You're not a good person because you hurt me in these ways. You're not going to change enough for me to be comfortable having any kind of relationship with you. I think that that's healthy and normal too. I don't think we need to just let everything go.
Yeah.
I
Maybe I just have bad choices in people, but what they said wasn't super nice, and I don't think they deserve to be forgiven.
Exactly. And why would you want to be friends with someone who talked to you like that, relationship or not, you know?
I love judging people and being mean. Top tier. As you know, Meg, I bully you every day.
I guess
Um,
it also it depends on if it was something they said versus an action they did. I think it's easier to forgive things for what is said generally for versus actions
And if
because
it's
I
like a
think
one
actions
off
speak
thing that was
louder.
said, if it's like a one off and they said something and it was like,
Like during a
oof,
fight too.
yeah, yeah, versus like them treating you consistently poorly or them consistently doing something to make you feel bad. I don't know if I could ever forgive someone though that said to me, "I'm intentionally upsetting you because I want to know. I just want to see how you respond to being super upset." I can't imagine.
That
I
reminds me
can't.
of like
Not
my middle school
healthier me.
relationships.
It does feel very like childish mindset. It's very like I'm gonna test this person, very high school, like just childish mindset, you know?
It's I loop that in with the oh you didn't respond to me in 30 minutes and now I hate you for the rest of the day
Hmm.
kind of mentality.
Yeah, like
It's
very immature, very very immature. But um, no, I could definitely see young me being like, okay, I'll take that person back. But me now, I'm like, all of the red flags.
so their next reason, um, the idea of them dating other people doesn't make you feel like shit.
I
Maybe
pity who they
I'm
date.
maybe I'm too open, but I don't know. That has never happened to me, I guess. I've never looked back at a relationship or like even recently been like they're dating other people. I don't know. Nine
Well,
most of the time I'm just kind of like, okay.
I mean, like there's something to be said about like if someone's in a relationship very soon after breaking up, so then you feel shitty because you're like, oh, what was going on that they immediately had somebody in the wings, right? Because in that context, that's a
That is
shitty
true because
feeling. It's not so much
do
a
have
like a
that.
jealousy or like a oh I
Yeah.
don't want them to be seeing somebody else. It's just more like a what was going on that that person was already right there for you to start another relationship with. So
I've never been jealous of any of my exes, like when they first got into a relationship, like, oh, I wish I was with them still. If anything, it
right.
like pisses me off that they're still happy. Like, you should suck. You should be very upset.
You should be
You should be
devastated that
wallowing.
I'm no longer in
So
your life.
there's a reason now I'm seeing why you're not friendly or friends with any of your exes. I'm seeing a theme here.
I said I was the problem. I am aware.
I don't know. It depends. It depends on how shitty those exes are. Because, but it does sound like when you're like, yeah, I'm burning a bridge, but they're on that bridge. Like, I want them to be on the bridge while it's on fire. That seems to be the mentality, at least, where you're like, yeah, they can burn right along with the bridge.
I've
Let
only had
me,
like four relationships. Two of them, I wish them well. The other two cheated on me so they can go fuck themselves. So I
yeah,
guess that is fair.
yeah, yeah, burn them on them bridges. So,
Honestly, yeah.
yeah.
So one of their last reasons here on Healthline, we're in the final two. Um, this one I don't really understand. I think it's just like I have never really been the one to do this, and I don't know anyone that has done this. But their second to last reason is you're not playing mind games over social media.
What's that mean?
I don't understand. Mind
Here
games, like maybe
I'll
dropping
read
drama
it. I'll
or.
read it. Breakups were difficult to begin with, and then the advent of social media rained down even more struggle for anyone trying to get over their ex. Most of us have indulged in a one-off what are they up to now profile session
Mm-hmm.
out of curiosity, but if you're playing games on how to interact with them on social media, it's a no-go. I'm talking if you sorry, I had to burp. I'm talking if you chronically view into Instagram stories, post something specifically to catch their ex's attention. Tough love. The tough love answer is you're making this a lot harder for yourself. So I guess posting things specifically for your ex to see and want to get jealous of or angry about or something to get their attention is what I'm gathering.
Oh, I've never done that.
Yeah, I can't say that I can remember doing anything like that. But I again, I've got pretty limited like relationship experiences. So
I guess like I used to like dress up and like go out after like a breakup, but and then maybe post something on my story, but they were never like added at that point because I would unadd them after we broke up. So it wasn't like a
Okay,
mind
so
game.
different, yeah. You're just going out.
Yeah. So or
wasn't
I
like
would specifically block them from my story, you know?
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So what about some of the big red flags as to like you can't? Did we go through those yet? Where you're like you cannot be in a relationship or you cannot have a friendship
Um
because oh
well the final health line, like the actual last one was enough time has passed and you both feel at peace, which I'm like, yeah, like there's
Yeah, that's
nothing.
fine.
Yeah,
If you run into each other like years later in like a random grocery store or coffee shop and you just chat for a minute, I feel like that's fine.
for
yeah.
sure.
And I mean, I think it really just like depends again, like on the person, the relationship. Because I mean, if your relationship ends because you're like, oh, this person is not a good person, like this is not a person that I would want to even be friends with because the way that they treat people and look at things and handle situations, I think that becomes like the big thing of like, can I be friends with this person? Like there are people that I had relationships with and I'm like, yeah, I could be friends with this person. Like we didn't have any like crazy contentious, whatever. Um but I also have, I mean, I want to say it's been a while since I've had like a really real relationship with someone, like a romantic relationship. So because I was like, I'm too crazy for that shit. I gotta get my own head on better because otherwise I'm just gonna keep doing that shit. And I didn't like that. So I mean, I was in like a crazy weird relationship of sorts. It wasn't even dating. It was just like a weird situation where I was kind of like on standby because I've got no self esteem, and I was just like waiting in the wings.
So not dating, but the side chick is what
Yeah,
I'm gathering.
yeah,
Certified side chick Meg.
yeah. That was me, certified side chick. And it was like whenever they weren't in a relationship with somebody else, I was just like, "What's up?" We're here and we would like hang out and be friends and it would be like totally normal, and then they would get into a relationship and we'd be like friends and totally normal and like no big deal, and then they would get out of a relationship and I was like, hey, we just like make out sometimes. Let's what's up? Like what's
Oh my
we're
god.
just yeah, well, I mean, I was 16 and finally figured out that I liked women, so it was like, hey, listen, making out was great at 16. So um
Is that when you had your first kiss? Was it 16?
no, 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 no. Oh, ugh. I just remembered how many dudes I kissed before I started dating women. I did a good amount of dudes because I was a tomboy and the guys like that. They're like, cool, you like dude stuff, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
like
true.
dude stuff,
Yeah.
and they were like, cool, and you're a girl, so I could date you, and you like dude stuff, and I was like, yeah. No, I had my first kiss at 12. Yeah. I've been making out with dudes since I was 12 years old. 12 to 16, I was making out with dudes, and it was gross every time, and I felt so bad after I realized I liked women because I was like, oh my god, I talked so much shit about these dudes to all my female friends. I was like, he's just so gross. Like, I don't know. He's just, it's gross. It turns
I'm
out it was me.
I'm a late bloomer. I didn't have my first kiss until I was 18.
I didn't have mine till I was
Really?
17, so
I had my first kiss at 18, and then probably like a week later, I lost my virginity. It's the same
Wow.
person though, so it's like it's cool.
it's
It's
cool.
it's,
I didn't want to make it seem like I just kissed someone and then was like going wild.
you're like, I had my first kiss. Let's go find somebody.
Yeah, now I can do
different.
anything.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, I started dating dudes pretty young because I always like, I had my first ever boyfriend in third grade, and I say boyfriend, but it's like a third grade boyfriend, and we would just like we like went on walks, and I made him hold my hand. There was like this little garden and stuff at the elementary school that I went to, and we would just sit on a bench and hold hands in the garden, and I think that that's super adorable.
That's so cute.
Yeah, yeah. And it was, very, very pure, very, very cute. And then I
Very
got to
noir.
middle school, and I'm like, yeah, listen, everybody's talking about like boys and dating. We're just gonna do that. That's what's normal. Everybody's always talking about dating. Like, that's why I got into a relationship in third grade too. Was like all the girls were like, I think he likes you because you guys hang out all the time, and I was like, that's what that means. Can't just be friends with a dude because I'm a girl.
That's what that means.
We're in third grade,
It's
so
the rule book.
yeah, I guess I was like a cute little third grade boyfriend, but I would think that my first real boyfriend is the first boy that I kissed in middle school. Oh God, I just got depression. He's dead. He died. He
Oh
did.
my
He
god.
died. I, I forget a lot, and then I think about him. He did. He died. It was so many years after I stopped talking to him, so it's like I didn't really know him at that point. But I got all these weird memories with this dude. Oh, so weird. Funny enough, the other like dude that I dated, he almost just recently died in like the last year.
Oh no.
I feel like I'm just
If
like
you were a man and
cursed.
dated or kissed Meg, watch out.
Be wary.
Honestly, women too. I feel like
He literally like broke his
you never
spine.
know.
He's not paralyzed, I think. He's walking, he's only a little bit broken. I'm friends with his mom still on Facebook. I just get like
Oh my
trickling
god.
information. After dating me, he dated another girl named Megan. I'm friends with
Are
her
those
sister.
media mind games right there?
I guess so.
That's social
Me
media
being friends
games.
with it, me being friends with his mom on Facebook, those social media mind games. Um,
He
but
got your
no,
attention though, so
but I had my first kiss at 12, and I dated two guys in like the big chunk of time for like long spans of time. Like two guys, seriously. I dated some dudes in between there because the one dude was like on and off, um, stuff. Um, so I dated like other dudes in there like for short amounts of times, but I don't really count them because. But anyways, I was just like, this is what you're supposed to do, like to be in a relationship. This is how it works. I had an incredibly unhealthy mindset about what a relationship was supposed to be as a kid, like what it meant and like what the expectations of that stuff was. So unhealthy, which is why when I had the first girl that I was like, oh God, no, things are making sense. Given the fact that I cried when I found out that my kindergarten teacher was getting married because it wasn't to me. Nobody said anything to me my whole goddamn life about being gay, okay? And it's not like I didn't know what being gay was. I just couldn't connect the dots myself. So I had a kindergarten teacher. I was in love with her. I cried when I found out that she was getting married because it wasn't to me. And then on my like 11th birthday, before I got a boyfriend that I had kissed for the first time, the girls were talking because like the guys left and the girls were staying over for a sleepover, and then they were talking like, oh, it's too bad the guys left. We could have like done like spin the bottle or kissed or something. And I was like, we could still do that. Nobody said anything to me. Nobody was like, you're not supposed to want to kiss girls.
We
Megan.
could still do that. It's so crazy.
Still do
How
that.
bold of you! How bold of you!
I was like, and I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
I hadn't even had a first kiss at that point. So I was like, I don't know. Like, why can't we know that the guys are gone? It doesn't matter. I don't get it. What are you talking
It ain't
about?
gay to kiss the homies.
Right, exactly. But that was like my mindset, and again, I don't know how, because that's at 11, and then I dated dudes, and I was like, dudes are kind of gross. Like, this is weird and gross, and I don't really like it. But like, okay, and then I finally like was like, oh my god. It's a girl, and I 100% specifically like her like that. Like, clearly, I'm like, oh shit, okay, no, that makes sense. Everything is starting to click into place. Things are making sense. And then the day that I finally was like, hey, I actually really like you in a romantic way, we kissed at my house, and then I think I've mentioned this to both of you before, but she had insomnia, she didn't sleep, she's on my laptop all night, so like we kissed, and I was like, oh, lit, this was fantastic, great, this is a thing now, because she's like, I like you too, so that means we're together, that's what that is. And then I was like, I fell asleep. A couple hours later, it's like 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, she wakes me up, she's like, oh my god, that senior that I like at school, he just asked me out, so we're dating now. And I was just like, cool. And then I let that go on, and then I was just there waiting in the wings. It only lasted a couple weeks, and then she was back, and I'm like,
she has two hands. I don't know why she didn't just, have both of you at the same time, if that's what she wanted.
she didn't know, she realized she didn't need that, though. She's like, oh, no, I just got this one on lock. This one here, not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah, she saw that you were just always there whenever,
available.
Yeah. Why need both at the same time? Because then you gotta like talk to him and
two
shit.
hands?
Why not like just hang on with both with that one, and then when that's
just
over,
occasionally make out with this one.
Yeah.
Between relationships, we just got our whole thing going.
Listen, that sounds like a good deal to me.
But she's 4'11", and she would beat the shit out of me, like physically, like beat the shit out of me. She was crazy.
And you made out with this person.
And I was so happy too. I was like, I told Tori this the other day. I'm like, there's a couple of situations that like really stand out to me. Like she was upset that I asked her to leave my house because I was like having a panic attack, and I'm like, I want to be alone. And then she's like, no, you're gonna have a panic attack in front of me. Like and she ended up at that point jumping on my back and choking me to near unconsciousness. It's so crazy. It's so crazy because that was so early in the relationship that we had, the situationship that we had. It was so early, and I just kept coming back. So like when I sit there and I'm like,
lesbian situationships, man.
But that's the thing. So like when I'm sitting there, like I can't imagine saying like somebody intentionally making like someone's going and saying, I made you mad on purpose. I'm upsetting you on purpose, and I'm like, I can't imagine. That's because I've healed from past me so much. Do you know how far I've had to come? Because in my mind, like in my childhood mind, I would have been like, no, that's fine.
That makes sense,
no red flags. Green flags.
To be fair, you and your siblings were fucking wild.
Okay.
Go back and listen to past Buzzbait episodes. I swear to God, you guys were like, yeah, we're gonna waterboard each other. Just, survivability, bro.
Yes.
Survivability.
Tori, are you telling me that with all your fucking siblings, you never waterboarded each other to see if you can handle torture?
I can confidently say I never did that.
Would you rather... Hold on. Would you rather create a fart jar with your siblings or waterboard them? Because this is something both me and Megan have done.
I did not create a fart
Why?
jar. I'm not the fart jar person. We did okay. Alternative to the waterboarding, would you play a game with your siblings where you put plastic bags over their head, surprising them with plastic bags over their head, and seeing if they can get out of it without you choking them?
Okay, to be fair, that one we did try, but my mom
Thank
walked
you.
in at a convenient time to put an end to that one. So we didn't
Thank
see who
God.
would actually get through that.
See, you should have kept trying when your parent when your mom was home. You just keep
No,
doing
she
it.
sat us all down and was like, "You would have killed them," and then
No,
made
you
us
had
like
like a little tap
apologize for
out signal.
trying to murder them.
You had like a little tap out signal.
So,
No, she's
Spark
a very
Notes.
scary woman.
Uh,
She was very scary in that conversation.
Spark Notes of my thing. My siblings, my two older siblings, created a little fart jar, and then when I heard about it, I was like, "That's funny. I want in," and would fart in that jar as well. So
You just open it up, fart in it, close the jar.
we had to do it quick. You had to do it fast as possible. If you didn't do it fast, then all of it was wasted.
How
And then
old
like
were you guys?
we put it in the fridge because it was a little butter container. So
It was a butter jar.
yeah, it was a little butter container. So we put it in the fridge to see if somebody would like pick it up, and it's a thing of fucking air. So obviously, so it's like light, so no one's gonna like pick it up and go, "Oh, there's definitely something in here." But like on the off chance that somebody would, you never
You never
know.
know.
Fridge, hoping that someone would be like, "Oh, I need the butter," and being like, "Why is it so light?"
I
Then
like
they're like,
how
"Oh, why does it smell
Insane.
like
you put
shit?"
the fart jar in your fridge with all your other food, though, and that's the part I'm stuck on, I think.
Yeah.
How old
How
were
many
we?
farts are in here and you just shoved it next to your loaf of bread? Like, what the fuck?
Yep.
How old were we? I
Wait, you
think
keep bread in the fridge?
It keeps it fresher longer.
I think I was like maybe 7 or 8,
Okay.
which meant my oldest brother was like 14, and then my sister would be like 13,
Okay, that's not too bad then.
like 13 or 12. And I was like, so
The
like putting
logic
that into
tracks.
context, yeah, like putting that into context, like this is absolutely something a 14-year-old boy would be like, let's do.
How
Yeah.
old were
And
you where you
then,
were waterboarding each other?
Oh, probably around the same age.
See, that logic
14, so
doesn't track
James
for
is
me.
11.
yeah, that logic, I'm a little lost.
I feel like
Fart jar is
fart jar
leading
makes
here.
sense.
Thank you. Yes, I have someone.
I would not participate, but it does
That's
make a
fine.
little more sense.
Listen, you never had someone leave the ID channel on, and then you're like, well, now I gotta know about this stuff. That's how the plastic bag thing started.
Nope, nope, no, I think I was
So
alright.
confused.
Anyways, let's get away from family. That's too heavy of a topic. Let's talk about shitty exes for a little bit, and then move into the question. So I've obviously talked about like my super abusive thing, and I just kept going back because I was like super unhealthy. But like that really like opened my eyes and made me realize like that entire dynamic was super unhealthy, and it really changed my mindset on like what because like I didn't ever have that like insight or like the ability to look into myself and be like what do I want in a relationship, what am I looking for in this situation, what am I trying to get out of this dynamic. Lara, you can't just start giggling. I'm talking about serious shit. I see what you wrote me.
I I had to let you know.
Okay, but I'm talking about some serious stuff right now and you're giggling. Focus. Focus.
Okay,
Quiet on
I'll
the
reel it
set.
in. I'll reel it in.
Quiet on the set. Anyways, so like it allowed me to look inwards and be like, okay, what actually do I think a relationship is and should be? And I think that it really comes down to um the very bare minimum is that you have to have a mutual respect for the person. And what I look for in a relationship, like what I think that the relationship dynamic is supposed to be, is being like able to be on the same page with someone enough that like, oh, I'm looking for someone that this can be something that's long, like a long lasting. I'm looking for like a partner, someone that I can spend time with and be comfortable with, someone that I can have fun with and laugh and do things that we both enjoy, of course, but like that mentally is on the same page, wants the same things out of life, has that same like goal and drive and like eventuality that I'm looking for so that we can work on that together and grow together. And so that when we do grow over time, because people change over time, things change, your situation changes. And I think that the biggest thing is like you have to find someone that you can grow and change with because you're going to be growing, you're going to be changing no matter what. And you have to find someone who understands that and is capable of doing that in the same trajectory that you're doing it. Um, and also being in like a position where you can communicate well enough that like you can be aware like when you're no longer in that same trajectory, like if something happens and that person's life is veering off another direction, being able to sit there and kind of rationalize through that. So I definitely think that I need someone who's a little bit more pragmatic and like um in like more of like a mental state for that kind of stuff than just someone who is completely led by emotion. Because if something happens, like we might need to kind of change and detach, and if that's gonna be an issue, like you know what I mean, like if their life, I guess it's so hard to explain because it's like planning a breakup before the relationship gets to that point, but it's not. It's more like, can we have that conversation? Can you look past the emotion and the emotional tension of this and be like, this is not a healthy situation anymore. This is not, you know, conducive for both of our lives and the trajectories that we're trying to move in. And can we, in a healthy way, either communicate through it to get back into the same sphere if that's what we want, or separate without it being blah, you know?
It doesn't sound like you're like planning a breakup necessarily as much as you're looking for someone with a good amount of emotional intelligence that can like talk to you and communicate overtly without, diving into and spiraling into something that's over chaotic and everything. I
Yeah.
don't think that's planning a breakup as much as looking for someone that you can have a good honest conversation with and evaluate things well without it turning into a fight or turning into something more negative when it could be a normal quick conversation.
Right. And yeah, I guess that's the thing is like someone who has like a high emotional and like high emotional intelligence is really, really important because I can't I mean, I have my own mental health stuff and like I can be there and be supportive for somebody who has struggles mentally as long as they're able to communicate. And as long as they're able to talk to me, like I can deal with emotional instability to an extent as long as it's not like toxic. I can deal with all of that stuff. I don't need someone who's like perfectly emotionally stable or like fully healed. I just need someone who can like talk to me about it and communicate and actually like is working on getting better to like to be more stable and stuff like that. Like I can be a support for somebody, I can have someone lean on me, but at the same time, like I feel like the downside to that and the downside to like me being so open to like people's emotions and to communicating and so open about like mental health is that a lot of times I can like attract people who are really like emotionally unstable, and then they aren't interested in getting better, but they're just like leaning on me heavily for like that emotional stability. So we both got Colin's message at the same time. Sorry, Victoria. We've got a little group chat, of course, and Colin dropped insane stuff
I
in the
said
chat.
something, which is why I was giggling. You know what? I'll just say it. I said that I have to shit. I have to poop so bad. I've been holding it in like this whole time. Um, and so I put it into, and that's why I started giggling because I was like, bro, if I like breathe too hard, it's coming out. And then so I put it into the our little group chat, and I was like, I need to poop so fucking bad right now. And that's when Megan was like, stop fucking giggling. And Colin just messaged back and was like, do it on the podcast. I'm not
Do
going
it, you
to.
won't. Bet.
For content.
I'm looking at what I can shit in. I got empty water bottles all over the place, bro. Let me fucking open up my
New
hole
fart
in this.
bottle unlocked.
This would be wet. It's not a fart bottle. It would be something else. It'd be something else quick.
Okay, so moving on.
So moving
Relationship
on,
stuff.
Victoria, do you have a question?
Well, let's we got some content that we're gonna have to cut out, so let's not move to the question yet. There's too much shit talk. Anyways,
But
just I just want to get like your guys' perspective like on stuff like that. Like what does a healthy relationship like look like to you guys, and then we can move into the question.
Victoria, would
Well,
you like to go first?
sure, this time I'll go. um, I don't know. To be honest, I'm working on that right now. I just got out of a long-term relationship, so I'm trying to figure that shit out right now. But ultimately, emotional intelligence is something that I'm also kind of hoping for, but I'm also trying to cultivate that in myself and figure out better ways that I could communicate things because I don't think I did everything perfect, and I know there's a lot of ways that I could work on stuff, and ask better questions and have better conversations and cultivate a safe place where they feel like they can communicate things with me. But I also think that having people that understand that you're working on stuff and still giving you the space to do so while wanting to work on their own stuff and kind of coming into conversations with equal mindset of wanting to do better for each other, not necessarily change for each other, but do better and make the other person feel more safe and more comfortable with you while also preserving yourself as who you want to be and like living your life the way you want to do it and having those healthy conversations as your relationship goes on and checking in, being like, hey, are things still good? Are you still happy with the way that we communicate? Are you still happy with how things are going right now? Do you feel safe? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel like your needs are met? And just being vulnerable and having those conversations every few months, every 6 months, a year, as things go on, as things change, like being able to have those conversations.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, and I think that again that is like a really high, like you said, like emotional intelligence and just communication skills, and I think that like is so important, and the communication like seems to be like the crux of like so many different you know I don't know. I lost what I was saying. It just disappeared. I
It's so
it is
important.
gone. It is.
Period.
It's very important. It's very important. Laura, what about you? What
what
do
does
you
a
think that you
healthy
yeah, healthy
relationship look
needs.
like?
Yeah, healthy relationship.
I think you both put it perfectly. I don't think there's really anything that I could change, I guess. I mean, at least about what you guys said. I would love to change so many things about what I've done, said, what was done to me, what was said to me in past relationships, both friendships and beyond. Like, I'm not perfect. Literally nobody in the world is fucking perfect. So I was like, I'm forgiving about a lot of things. Um, but yeah, obviously, like emotional intelligence and communication are the biggest ones. I am the world's worst communicator ever. I will shoulder your pains and mine. Don't even worry about it. And then when I'm quiet and not talking to you, don't worry about it. No.
Is that something that you feel
Womp
like you need
womp.
to work on though? Is like
Absolutely. 100%.
yeah.
As it has a recurring problem in many relationships that I have. And it's not even something that I'm like, I purposely seek out like emotionally unintelligent people or people that are mentally unstable or whatever. It's just I don't know. It's I feel like it's a
They just
need
tend to
that I
be hotter.
have.
I get it. No, like the crazy ones, usually the hottest.
The hot
I
and
get it.
crazy scale is so real. It is
Mm,
so real. Do you know the
Honestly,
too
hot and
real.
crazy scale? Do you
Yeah,
understand
too.
the hot and crazy
Yeah,
one?
yeah,
I had to explain it to someone
too
the other
real.
day, and they told me they didn't believe it, and I was like, no,
No,
you're fucking lying
it
to
is
me right now.
unfortunately a fact.
well,
It is
for any viewers or listeners that don't know, can you explain it?
The hot and crazy scale? Oh, I need like a wipe off board in like multiple colors, bro.
Oh, then never mind.
You know what? If you find
We need
No, it's
another
like
hour.
if you find a good chart or like picture, we'll drop it in the Discord under our chat discussions. If you just
download this PDF for the hot and crazy scale.
perfectly explains it.
But it's basically like if you're crazy and you're not very attractive, you can only be so crazy and people are going to put up with you. But the hotter you are, the more crazy you can slip in there where they're like, it's okay. You're hot enough that I'll allow it. Like it's okay. You could be a little crazy because you make up for it in other ways. Like you're good eye candy, so you could be a little
I was gonna
crazy.
say that's because like hot people are like
It's pretty privilege like on steroids.
it's pretty privileged, but it's also kind of a like a status symbol. Like if a guy were to pull a really hot girl, he tends to bring that girl to all his events, all his like he's um I guess showing her off to like his friends of like look what I bagged,
Hmm.
like that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
So,
fair.
but yes, what healthy relationships look to me. I how I have kind of I guess come to terms of not only how I love but how I view relationships is like that's my teammate, bro. Like we're a pair.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's I mean, yeah, obviously I want to do romantic things and I want to be romantic with my partner and do those things, take those steps, whatever. But at the same time, like if something bad were to happen to me, if something bad were to happen to them, like I want to be able to work with them to get through whatever it is. So it's like I guess that's why I kind of say like I do tend to shoulder those pains of the people that I love because we're teammates. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
help you, you
And do you
know?
think that maybe the people that you've chosen before kind of like rely on that heavily, but don't provide that on your side where you're like, hey, I need a teammate now. I'm going through something. I'm struggling. And then they're like, yeah, but what about my struggles? Is that kind of
Yes.
exactly? Oh, wow, cool. No
Absolutely.
notes. No
Yep.
notes. Just yes.
100%. You got it.
Mhm, got it.
Absolutely. Period.
Which is unfortunate, but I do find like someone who's not very emotionally intelligent does tend to lean that way, where it's like, oh, I'm going to rely on you, but you can't rely on me, for these
Yeah,
things. I feel like that usually
absolutely.
comes from like a lack of emotional intelligence, or just sometimes like a selfishness, like just a very like self-centered kind of viewpoint on things.
Or the people that are like, everybody else has quote unquote like tried to help, but I've never gotten the help that I needed, so I'm just going to shoulder everything myself and I'm not going to express myself, I'm not going to do anything. And it's like, why? I get why and I understand why. But when you are in a relationship, like you to me, you need to have that level of trust in that person that they are going to help and they are going to do the things that you hope and want, you know?
Right.
So I guess I just have a bit more of like an optimistic view of like you're in a relationship, you trust this person. You clearly want them in your life for at least an extended amount of time. Like,
Yeah.
you
You
know?
should be able to kind of rely on that person. And I don't know, I guess it depends on like the situation, because some people, when they're especially like with mental illness and stuff, especially like when it comes to things like behavioral disorders or things like that, where they've learned really bad coping mechanisms to deal with intense emotions and things that they've had in the past, like trauma and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of times they end up leaning towards being like, um, because a lot of times with like behavioral disorders or things like PTSD, where it's like trauma related, they're like, this has kept me safe, like safe, even though it in itself causes more trauma and causes more problems. It has kept them
Yeah.
alive safe. So their brain says, you don't need to change this. And until their mindset on that kind of stuff changes, it's really hard to be in any kind of like healthy relationship, because they're not going to want to change. They might say things and be like, well, I can see that these are problems, but then the like inherent deep down things that affect that kind of behavior ends up being what they can't or won't want to change. They're like, well, I can't change this because that has kept me. There's like a deep, like, clinging to that internal thing. So even if they're like, well, yes, this thing here, this little ball that's deep inside me, causes all these other problems. I want to fix all these problems, but they refuse to get into that deep rooted thing to pull out that initial bad behavior or bad, coping mechanism. Until they can reach down and pull that out, it becomes an issue of, like, kind of like fighting the symptoms, which doesn't show enough progress, which causes a lot of people to, like, give up, like, well, I can't change this about myself, or like, it's not going to change. And so even if a person is like, I want to be different, I want to be better, but they won't go deep enough into that issue, then I feel like it becomes that thing where you end up with someone who doesn't have quite enough emotional intelligence to deal with their thing, where they're like, oh, I want to be better, I want to change, I want to, like, because I'm seeing how it's negatively impacting this relationship with someone that they might actually care about, but then they end up not putting in the actual work, or not opening up enough, or not allowing things to change enough. And so you have, like, a lot of that, like friction and issues where it's like, seems like they're very back and forth on their, like, emotional state, you know.
Yeah, with
And
that too, sometimes a lot of self-sabotaging behavior can go in there too. Because if you know that you're, like, you know deep down that you have a lot of symptoms and things, but you don't know how to attack that core issue, you tend to, like, start lashing out and start sabotaging things around you because you're trying to fix the problems, but you're not, like, able to fix the root issue. And so then you end up going in that repeating cycle a lot, and then you are blaming other people and also blaming yourself.
yeah, no, and that makes sense. And I feel like that, like, again, self-sabotage, like, it really depends on, like, that person's, like, emotional state, and again, their emotional intelligence, and what they have to work on, like, what things is it that they're struggling and fighting with, and, like, how that, like, manifests in, their kind of, like, dynamic with other people. But um well, I think that we've got enough on topic stuff, so we can move into the question and wrap this up if you want. Tori, you're the question person.
Oh, I'm the question. Oh, so sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
It can be
okay,
anything. It
okay.
doesn't have to be related, but
Anything.
you also have to answer.
If you were a pocket-sized creature, what pocket-sized creature would you want to be for the rest of your life?
Do we get the
Like fit in a
lifespan?
pocket.
Do we get the lifespan of that creature?
No, you get your lifespan,
Oh,
but is that size
oh
for the
no.
rest of your life, and you get
So
to
by
be fall. You can be in, like, your friend's pocket, and they get to carry you to work for the rest of their life,
Yeah.
but
so
you
by
get your pocket
pocket-sized
size.
creature, like, okay, so it's
Like
any
a
creature, any
I'm
animal.
thinking like the pocket of, like, a flannel, like, on your chest, like that pocket. You have to fit in there. But
Right, but
any
I'm talking
creature,
like the animal. Okay, any creature. Okay.
it
Any
could be fantasy if
creature.
you want to do that, or like something that's
Any
not alive
creature.
It could be
now.
anything, but I'm pocket-sized.
Yeah.
And I have to live for so long. I've got a human
For
lifespan.
so long. Yeah.
I'm a dog person, but I want to be a cat.
Cat cannot fit in a flannel. You gotta go smaller, Lara.
Yeah, no, but we're pocket-sized, right? We're
No, no,
any
no, no,
creature, but
no,
we're
no,
pocket-sized.
no, no.
No, you
You're
have to
you're
fit
a
in a pocket.
pocket-sized creature, a creature that would fit in a pocket.
I wanted to be a pocket
Exactly,
pussy so bad. Okay. Now I like actually think.
Lara.
I was going for a joke and it obviously fell flat, so cut it out.
No, no. Um, I'm trying to think. Um,
A bat. Bats are small.
yeah,
Bats are
bats can
small.
be
Yeah.
small. Oh my
I'll be a bat.
gosh.
You little brownie bat.
Hell yeah, dude.
Those things are so cute. I think that's the one that got stuck in the sky bridge at work the other week.
Yeah. You mean many, many weeks ago, or was there another one recently?
There was another one.
Oh, hedgehog. They're so fucking cute. I would want to be something that someone would wanna or be able to carry around a lot.
Hmm.
Probably like a hedgehog. Ferrets are a little bit too big. I looked up pocket-sized animals. I was like, I gotta find something small.
Cheating.
A bat would be cool though because you can fly.
Yeah, that's
you can also
why.
be.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
There's other birds that you can also be too.
What would you be, Victoria? While we're waiting for Megan.
I'd be a snake.
Oh, that's a cool one though.
And then I get to be whoever carries me as accessory. So.
Oh yeah, you could be like a little
It's to add to the
bracelet.
aesthetic.
Fair enough.
You'd be like a cool little snake bracelet. Oh, you know he's got a cool snake. It's named Gatsby. Morgan. I think Gatsby. I love it. I got to pet it. It's a corn snake.
I do not like snakes.
Cool.
Get out of here. Oh, chinchilla. They're supposed to be super soft.
Yeah,
I'll
you could be
leave.
chinchilla, or you could be a one of those sugar gliders.
Yeah, I just want to be something super cute where someone's like, look at this thing I get to carry around all the time.
A girl that I work with, she has sugar gliders, and she fucking hates them.
Oh no.
There's so much work. They're very
There's so
high
much work.
and
They
high
also,
energy.
at least in her case, they break out of their cage all the time.
Very
And
intelligent.
yes, she has told me so many times of like when she's sleeping and they break out of the cage and she just wakes up to them biting her.
Oh no.
She's like, I fucking hate these things.
Oh no.
My cat does that. You know what? I probably would have to be a bat because my cat would kill me if I was anything that was on the ground. I need to be able to fly and stay up high.
So are both bats?
I like the idea of flying. Otherwise, I'd be like maybe like a chinchilla. Because I just want to be cute and soft.
You'd be a flying squirrel too.
See, again,
Have you guys...
It's hard. Can you imagine trying to get like someone to bring me around as a flying squirrel?
Why? They're soft and fluffy looking.
Yeah,
they're very cute.
I feel like people are judgmental about squirrels. I think that they're like a nuisance animal a lot of times.
It's not like you're a pigeon. You'd be fine.
I feel bad every time I remember that pigeons are just domesticated doves and that we abandoned them. It makes me so sad.
I would get a messenger pigeon. I'd bring it back.
I would bring back messenger pigeons too. Are you kidding me? That'd be so fucking cool.
Can we consider a pigeon a pocket creature?
We could.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
It's a little bit
Okay, then
bigger.
I'm gonna be a pigeon.
Really? I guess they could be really pretty. I guess bats.
I don't know.
It could also be a dove. Doves are like
there's
pretty pigeons.
There's pigeons that are pretty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're pretty, I guess.
People see me and they're like, "That's the pigeon that's pretty, bro."
That's the pigeon that's pretty. You got just very beautiful, colorful feathers. It's because they've got that like cool. It almost looks like an oil stain. You know, like that little rainbowy color that they get in their feathers.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool creatures.
All right.
I don't understand why they hop around and don't fly so much.
Because they're chilling.
No, could be.
Probably
All right, so
something
what are we
we did to
keeping
them.
Keeping it emotionally intelligent.
Honestly, keep it emotionally intelligent.
Please, for the sake of everybody out there, keep it emotionally intelligent.
It would be beneficial.